Yo, welcome to the show. Gather round, listen close. We got George, Brock, and J.A. bringing you the most NFL podcast. It's about to go down. Three amigos ready to run this town. Welcome to the Ball Studio, where the fun begins. George, Brock, and Jay talking NFL with their friends. So grab a drink, sit back, let's dive into the show. The Ball Studio, fam, we're ready to go. Let's go.
Check, 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 check.
That cord's playing a bit funny.
All right. We're good?
Yeah, sorry everyone. There was a bit of an issue with the cord from the board. So we're gonna do
Hang on. That's working. Check. Anyone hear us? In the comments, let us know if you can hear us.
All comments, no sound.
Yeah, one of them.
Should be good now. Yeah, we're good now.
Oh, like I said, get on our social. Jesus, make sure you get on our. Turn your sound off. Fucking yeah,
It's you
is it me?
because you're connected to the board.
My apologies, sir.
Fucking sharp operation here tonight.
Yeah, we're
boys.
kicking goals here, boys. Kicking
We
goals.
are
I
fucking
can't believe
awesome.
we've done 40 podcasts this year, and the one time we go live, the call stops working.
Fair.
We should be good now.
I'm still hearing it. Yeah, which is awesome. Yeah, just turn the phone down. Bluetooth on.
We should be good now. I don't know why we're hearing that. Is it gone now?
Yep.
It was the Instagram decided to turn its sound on.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Apologies, guys. Brock, go now.
Get on our sponsors, Sporting Globe, Chantel Park. Make sure you get in any other venues you can get into. Get on our socials, Vault Studio Podcast. Georgie, J.A., Scotty on the ones and twos. Let's get stuck in the show. Jay, how are we doing this, mate?
So we're doing, key matchups for each game. We've all kind of taken a game or 2 games each with the 6 games that are being played. We'll do the key matchups. Who needs to have the biggest impact for each team to win, and who wins and why we'll do for each game. So I'm starting us off. I draw the first game, and this is tomorrow morning about, I think it's 8:30 our time or 8 a.m. our time in Australia. Chargers at the Texans. And I'll start with my key matchups. So I've got, for the Texans, a key matchup for them is Quentin Johnson versus the Texans secondary. Johnson needs to stretch the field so the Chargers can run the ball and utilize McConkey in the slot. I believe that he's the key. If they can generate some big plays over the top, get the ball going to him. We've seen, he's only had the 600 odd yards this season, but I think 300 of them have been over 3 games. So he can produce big games through the air by generating big plays, and that's super important. So if he can do that, that allows McConkey to then play in the slot, get open underneath. It allows them to run the ball and get the job done in that way. And that's going to be the key to that game for the Chargers. So I think he's a key matchup for them. The other one I've got is for the Texans. Now, the Texans offensively have struggled the last few weeks, right? And the Chargers are a very good defense. Dalton Schultz versus Derwin James becomes one of the key matchups for me, because when Derwin James is able to just play as that loose defender, play as that guy without really when he's at his best, he doesn't actually have a role. He just flows around and makes plays, right?
Correct, yes.
So if Dalton Schultz can, traditionally, a strong safety like Derwin James, he plays on the tight end. And the reason Derwin James is so good at it is because he nullifies the tight ends, then he's able to make plays while freeing himself up from covering them. If Dalton Schultz, who's shown in the past he can be a very productive tight end, he can keep Derwin James honest, get some catches, get some big plays. So then Derwin James starts going, okay, well, now my focus can't be, are they running the ball? Do I need to run support? Can I blitz and get pressure here? It's like, no, you've got to play on Dalton Schultz now and stop him making plays. If Dalton Schultz can do that, I believe that can take Derwin James out of the game, and that will allow Stroud to then get in a rhythm. Everyone knows a quarterback's best friend is a tight end. They get open quickly, get open on short routes, and then make plays off that. Good third down conversions, all that sort of stuff. I think he's going to be a massive key for them to then allow everything else to open up.
Because that's going to open up Nico Collins, who needs to have a big game. If they're going to win this game, Nico Collins has to have a career game.
Yes,
basically.
and I think if they're just going, all right, Nico Collins needs to have a huge game and we're going to just throw him the ball, it's not going to work. The Chargers, they're well coached, as we know.
Yep.
They're well buttoned up. They know what they're doing. I guarantee you they're sitting in their meeting tonight going, the plan is to not let Nico Collins beat us, right? We're going to stop him. We're going to be over the top of him, not allow him to have big plays. We're not going to let him break tackles and get away from us. To do that, you need someone else to then attack the defense and make some plays. Then they have to go, well, we can't just sit here all night and let Dalton Schultz carve us up on third down conversions and hurt us that way. So I think he becomes a massive part in this matchup. And if he can get some of his form from last year and the year before at the Cowboys, where he was very good, very
Cowboys were
productive.
good, yes,
he can get that form for this game. It then opens the doors up for the Texans, and the Chargers actually have to think about things and change the way they're defending. And we all know to beat a good defense, you need to make them uncomfortable and bring them out of what their game plan is. Because if you just play to a good defense's game plan, that's literally what they want you to do the entire game.
You're sunk. Like they're schemed that for that reason. 100%. There's a reason they've done that. They haven't just made it up. Yeah.
So I think that's a massive part in what they need to do from the offense of the Texans. Who needs to have the biggest impact for each team to win? So for the Chargers, might be a surprising one here, but it's a little bit in the vein of Quentin Johnson. It's J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
All right. Although Herbert's the man, we know Herbert's the god. He's tall, white, handsome gunslinger. We love him here at the Vault Studio. He's one of our favorite players.
Amen.
But the offense of the Chargers, we know, love to run the ball. So they're going to want to establish the run early. Then they can use the play action to generate big plays. Dobbins is the key to that. And that also comes with the offensive line as well. But we're talking about a single player. If Dobbins can get the game going, run the ball well, break off a few big plays, keep churning it over. We know the Chargers want to have 8 first downs on a drive and just keep draining. One, that's draining for an offense because you can't get in rhythm if you're on the other side of the ball because you're sitting on the sideline. And then it's hard for a defense because it wears you down over and over again.
You've got to be out there. Yeah.
And the Texans defense is not a bad defense. They're actually quite, statistically, they're quite a good defense. They generate pressure. They stop the run pretty well. So this is going to be a challenge for Dobbins. And I think if they can get him going early in the game, and he can have a big game, have a 100-yard game. I would say if J.K. Dobbins has a 100-yard game, the Chargers win this football game. It's that simple because it means they're running the ball really well.
Running the ball, and then they set up the play action stuff, and Herbert's very good off play action.
That's where Quentin Johnson, McConkey come into play, where then all of a sudden they're single covered because they're stopping the run off the play action. You've seen the number. We've seen it all year for the Chargers. That's when Herbert is in his absolute element. And it's what Harborough wants. He wants to physically dominate a team, wear them down, and then run away with the game late.
Well, it's a winning formula. If you look at all the good teams this year, they all do that. Yep. All of them do it. So it is a winning formula in the NFL of
100%.
late.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think JK is the massive key to that. I'm going to disagree with you on the Quentin Johnson. I just don't think he can't catch a fucking cold.
He does drop a lot.
He drops a lot. I think it's more going to be on
fair.
Getting JK out in the flat and actually get the ball in his hands out there.
Yeah, that's
rather
fair.
than trying to stretch the field.
I'm not saying I don't think Quentin Johnson has to have 10 catches. I think he needs to have 1 or 2 for over 20 yards. So then the defense starts going, oh wow, we've got to play over the top here. We have to stop him torching us because that's what they want to do.
But his track record does not have a track record of torching people.
No.
Stop Lad McConkey, stop JK, and don't let him run the ball on you.
I'm with Brock. I think the key to this game is Lad McConkey.
Yeah,
Lad's prime for a big game.
I'm trying to look at matchups, right? Because my theory is going into a playoff game. They've got 18 games to view these teams, right? So the Texans they're watching 18 weeks of film, and they're going, all right, McConkey's had a 1,000-yard season. He's their main receiver. They want to feed him the ball. They want to give him the ball. So their defense is going to go, okay, well, let's stop Lad McConkey. That's why I think Quentin Johnson needs, even if it's just the first half, he gets a couple of big catches. It changes everything, and they can build a bit of a lead. I think Dobbins the big key in that running game is going to be a massive key against the Texans. For the Texans, this is real simple, and you can hate on it that I'm going to a quarterback, but it's CJ Stroud.
Yeah,
and I know quarterbacks are super important.
He's had a really down year this year.
CJ Stroud this is the biggest game of the season for him. All the cards are stacked against him. They're injured. They don't have Stephon Diggs. They don't have Tank Dell. He's lost some of his guys. The O-line's not very good. He will need to play at an extremely high level to beat this Chargers defense. They are going to pressure him. The Texans' offensive line is going to struggle against Bosa, Mack, and all those pass rushers. There's an Islander kid who's a pass rusher whose name I've forgotten. He's a really good pass rusher too. They've got a plethora of guys that they can just rush. He's going to be under pressure. He will need to move, buy time, and then generate accurate balls for the offense to have a chance. Unfortunately, it all comes down to Stroud in this game. He knows the deficiencies of this offense, and he will need to play at an extremely high level to overcome it. And if he does, they can win this football game. The Chargers are not, the 2013 New England Patriots 6-0. They're not the greatest team in the world. This is not that uneven a matchup. Stroud needs to play out of his mind.
Yeah, see, I disagree. I think it is an uneven matchup. Defensively, the Chargers are much better.
You think the Chargers are a much better team?
Much better. Well, Herbert's a better quarterback.
Yes, true.
Harbaugh's a better coach. The defense is better. and Chargers O-line is better.
Yeah.
The key areas.
100%.
Big key areas.
But
so
that's what I'm saying, that Stroud needs to play.
Stroud will need to play well above himself.
We need to finish this game tomorrow morning and be sitting there going, wow, I forgot how good Stroud was.
Yeah.
Because this season we haven't seen it.
He needs to sling the ball for 300 to all parts of the field for them to win the game.
He needs to tear them apart.
I don't
He's
see
the
it
only hope.
based on his current form and the vein of form that he's been in this year.
Yes.
I don't see it.
Yeah, we don't see it, but that's what he has. For him,
That
for
I
them to
agree
win,
with.
that's
Yep.
what they have to
100% agree with you.
do. Are we saying he's going to do it? We don't know.
I-
Most likely not the way he's playing.
Yep.
But for him to win, he has to do that.
Agreed. Now,
No, I'll be happy to see the Chargers win.
I'll give my who wins and why, and then I want everyone to give us who they think is going to win.
Please.
So I've got who wins and why. Surprisingly, both defenses are pretty evenly matched. Sacks, yards, turnovers, all pretty much identical. The difference in this game is going to come with the offenses, which are evenly matched in yardage, but there is one huge difference which will decide the outcome of this game: turnovers. The Chargers have had only 9 turnovers this season, while being explosive at times. On the flip side, the Texans have 10 plus more turnovers than them this season, and it's been the Achilles heel. With that being said, the Chargers, with the Chargers being able to protect Herbert with their bookend tackles and their very good offensive line, which we know Harbaug's built really well, Herbert will lead to the Chargers being too strong, and they will grind this game out and overpower a struggling Texans team. I'm taking the Chargers all the way.
Yeah.
I just think they're going to be too well coached, too tough on both sides of the ball, and it'll be close for probably 3 quarters, maybe 2.5 quarters, and the Chargers will just slowly start to trick. All of a sudden, it'll be a 2-score lead in the 4th quarter, and the Texans will be like, "Oh wow, this game's really got away from us," and then they'll probably end like that.
I definitely agree with your first point that you made about the Chargers want to grind teams down.
Yeah.
You can see that that's how they want to play, which is, as I said, that's winning football in today's NFL.
Yeah.
It might be close. The halftime might be like 1 score halftime, and then like in the 3rd quarter, you'll really see the Chargers pull away, in my opinion.
Yeah, so you got Chargers to win.
100%.
Rocky,
I've
All
got
the way.
Chargers to win, but I don't think they're going to pull away. I'm calling 13-10.
Yeah.
a
okay.
defensive game.
Seriously.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me because both defenses are good. He's got a good point.
It's going to be a 2-hour game because the ball's going to be ran the whole time.
Yep.
And it's just going to be grind fest. 10-13. Chargers to kick a fucking field goal to win the game.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
That's how it. That's a Harbaugh sort of game too. It's what he did in Michigan when they didn't really have the weapons.
Yeah.
As well, like they had JJ McCaffrey, who was number 1 first round pick. They got a great quarterback now in Herbert. Doesn't have the receiver talent to do it yet, but has a good offensive line, some good running backs. Gus Bus, J.K. Dobbins. They will just run the ball all day, and when they get tired of doing that, they'll legit just pop it over.
Yeah.
Pop over the lad just running on the play.
Good O-line, I agree with that. Rashawn Slater, stiff to miss out on an all-pro nod.
Had a good
well.
year. I think
Yeah,
Joe
brilliant.
Alt's stiff to miss out. He's just behind some very good right tackles in football, unfortunately.
Yeah, agreed.
Scotty, who you got winning the game and why?
Yeah, I'm with Brock here. I think it's going to be a pretty defensive sort of battle there. I don't think Ryan's defense is going to let any team run all over him. And I think the key to the game will be the interior O-line for the Texans slowing down the blitz and giving Stroud just a little bit of time to find the hot routes. But yeah, I'm like a 21-17 sort of Chargers win.
So
Beautiful.
the over-under is 41.5 points.
That's
I'm-
low.
I'm taking the unders all day tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, that's probably
What
fine.
that's like 7 touchdowns.
20 each.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he probably won't get 7 touchdowns in that game. I agree with that.
No, very fair. All right, let's move on to the next game, which is our boy Brocky.
Don't get nervous already.
Steelers at Ravens.
See, I don't know why you're nervous. This is an odd character arc for you because you were so confident, you were stupidly confident about games you should have been nervous about, and now that you should be like ridiculously confident, you're like, oh my god, I'm so nervous, I got no fingernails left. It's crazy.
I'm not ridiculously nervous. I'll be watching it tomorrow at the Sporting Globe, Chermside Park.
Shout out.
If you want to come hackle me, you can. I will be nervous the whole game.
Bet. Keep that energy.
I will glass you
You
tomorrow.
remember this tomorrow when you want to glass me that you asked for this.
I will glass you.
No one can handle my heckling, can they?
No one can handle public shots. Nah, I really think it's going to be a tough game. For the Ravens to win this game, we really need Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry needed to just pass run all day.
Mhm.
It's all it's going to be. The Steelers' defense is still a very good defense. JJ Watt needs to have a big game to beat us. I just don't think. I don't think the Steelers have the cattle on offense to be able to do it. They're not mentally strong enough to be able to play against the Ravens. George just crunching on ice. The Steelers aren't mentally strong enough. Russell Wilson is not the good quarterback. They're just in this purgatory where they're not shit, but they're not good. And in the NFL, you don't get better doing it this way. Like,
no, they've certainly plateaued down. Like as they've played better teams, we've seen a real Steelers.
They haven't won on a Saturday this year.
Oh,
They played like 2 Saturday games.
So in saying that, why are you so nervous then? Just because it's division game?
Divisional game.
No one wants a division team in the playoffs.
That's all. It's just I don't want to deal with the Steelers. Give me anyone else in the playoffs, and I'll be okay with it. I don't want to lose the Steelers in the playoffs.
You do realize it's going to be a tough thing to come into the podcast Tuesday if they lose tomorrow.
Oh, I might not come in.
It's going to be grim.
You might be catching me.
Hey. They are 10-point favorites.
Yeah,
and that's what scares me the most.
It shouldn't scare you. If anything, I'd take the points.
I'm not taking the points on that.
I'm telling you now, they're going to smash the Steelers. The Steelers are done. They're cooked. They've lost 5 games in a row.
Yep.
To lead into the playoffs. They've literally like limped. That is the definition of limp dick into the playoffs.
Yep.
They got nothing. They got nobody. They got nothing.
Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin gets his
dude
team up for these games.
There's reports that if they lose this game, which they probably will,
they won't get rid of Tomlin.
That his name will be on the hot seat, and it should be. They haven't won a playoff game in 10 years.
What they should be doing is trying to trade him away, get some picks in that building.
Well, whatever. The point I'm trying to make is like
Raiders will have him.
The Bears will take him.
You should be supremely confident of beating the Steelers at home.
Like the key matchup.
They have no answer. They have no answer for anything you guys are doing on offense, even without Zay Flowers, because Zay Flowers is out.
Zay Flowers
right?
is out.
Even without Zay Flowers, you guys are loaded. You look at even just rosters. Look at the rosters. Look how many All Pros you guys have got versus them. Like you guys are loaded.
Yeah, we did have the quarterback as the All Pro of the first team.
Yeah,
will be the MVP this year.
You've been waiting to talk about that, haven't you?
Oh, mate.
Well, it's a good talking point. First team All Pro quarterback. Like that's primo number 1, bro.
Huge.
29 out of 30 in the past 30 years. The only one that hasn't been the MVP was AP.
Who was the All Pro running back?
Yes.
Yeah. And broke a whole bunch of records.
Yes.
So yeah.
No, I think you should be supremely confident. I'll be very surprised if they don't cover the spread. I'll be very surprised.
You reckon 10 plus points?
I reckon they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. Easy.
I'm a little bit different. And
think about this. How are Pittsburgh going to score more than 10 points? Think about it.
Well, if Pickens just stops dropping the ball, that's a start.
Okay, yeah. But he's got to do it.
But isn't Pickens that sort of guy, though? Isn't this the sort of game where we sit here on Tuesday and we're like, yeah, Pickens really found his feet? Like, I don't think... This is where I'm caught right now. My head is telling me Ravens are a much better football team.
Yes.
They're better at almost every position.
In every position group, they're better.
Except for maybe pass rusher. But then again, Ravens lead the league in sacks this year. So they may be lacking that individual pass rusher that TJ Watt is, but overall they're just a much better football team in almost every facet. But something in my gut's telling me, and this is probably the same nerves you have, Brock, that Steelers got in a playoff game. Like we've talked about Lamar's record against the Steelers, which he did kind of nullify a couple of weeks ago, where he really shut down the talk on it.
Fucking rammed it down his throat.
There's so much just pressure on them, and I hope that Lamar, and I think the Ravens are now at this point as a team where it doesn't get to them, and that's why my head's kind of saying the Ravens are going to win. But there's something in my gut that's just saying this.
They're too well coached, mate.
See,
no.
What worries me is the Steelers will do some bullshit and bring out Justin Fields at halftime.
Yeah.
And just run it back on us. Like they'll put him on kick return and he'll have a kick return touchdown and then they'll have him starting at quarterback. Man. That's the type of shit that scares me and worries me.
This is the NFL, bro. It's not Madden.
This is what keeps me up at night thinking about this game.
Wow. Can I throw a theory out there? The Steelers should 100% start Justin Fields in this game.
100%.
Why?
Well, because what has Russell Wilson done the last 5 weeks?
Nothing.
So what have they got to lose? Like, why not just roll out Justin Fields and be like, we're running a completely different offense this week, right?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think either of those two guys are on the roster next year?
Fields will be, because he's on a rookie deal still.
Do you think Russ is on the roster? Apparently he wants the Baker deal. He wants 3 years, $100 million guaranteed.
He's not getting that.
Enjoy that at the Raiders.
Yeah.
Only saying they've got to pay for him.
Yeah, he's like the Gardner Min. He's like a shorter, blacker Gardner Minshew.
That's what he wants. That's what the deal that he wants.
He's more country.
I don't think he's
not
worth
going to
that.
get it.
I don't think he's worth that.
Mr. Unlimited, as he is, he's still not going to get it. I don't know. Yeah, I like gun to my head. I'm taking Ravens, but I'm with you, Brock. It's
Personally,
you don't want to play division rival, and this is a big rivalry. Like they fucking hate each
worse
other.
than Eagles Cowboys hate each other.
Yes.
It's on the same level.
I think it's on the same level. I agree
on the
with that.
same level. Like they hate each other. So that brings when you're the underdog in a game like that, it brings that extra like, well, we're 10-point underdogs. We beat these guys earlier in the year. We beat these guys. Now, maybe they're playing better, but there's no reason we can't do this tomorrow.
There's a saying that goes for both teams. It's not you're not a Raven until you beat the Steelers.
Mm.
Yeah.
You're not a Steeler until you beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
That's how much it matters
Boys,
to these
you
teams.
guys, I love you both. I love you, Scotty, as well.
He's all
No, he's cool. In the club, we all fam.
right. That's very good.
Yeah, I'm on fire today.
Yeah, that's very good from you.
You guys are living in peak delusion. Derrick Henry's going to run for 150 yards, and Lamar's going to pass for 3 touchdowns, and they are absolutely going to annihilate the Steelers.
No one's going to be more
excited.
excited about this than if that happens to me.
But keep that receipt because that's what's going to happen.
I will be jacked up if this happens.
On Mountain Dew?
All the Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew in Zimbabwe.
All right, Brocky, who wins and why?
Ravens win by 8 points. That is going to run the ball over top of him. Derrick Henry, we've been saving him for this moment. We've been saving him for a playoff run.
This is what he's here for.
This is why we got him.
Literally,
yes.
this is why.
Like, he'll have a big game. Lamar Jackson will throw for 300. We'll dominate him, but they will also score a lot too. I just see it.
No.
I see it.
If they score more than 10 points, I'll be fucking flabbergasted. It won't happen. I'm telling you now.
You're definitely. I'm taking Ravens too. I think they're just too good, and I'm voting with my heart here too. I want Ravens Bills next week. Everyone wants that. No one wants Steelers going to Buffalo.
Before.
Like no one wants it
To get their face blown off in the first quarter.
but it's just such a Steelers thing to do. They'll win this game and then get fucking torched by Buffalo next week and ruin the playoffs for everyone.
They'll go to the KC.
Oh,
Yes, they will. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
It's the lowest seed. Spot on, Brock.
Assuming Buffalo win, obviously.
Ooh.
Get Scotty, who you got in this game, big dog?
Yeah, I think Ravens will win. I think it will be under 10 points. I have a feeling we might get a throwback Magic Russ game.
Ooh.
I just feel it. I don't know why.
Big Seattle guy. Seattle guy.
Scott, how?
He's got nothing else to lose, and he's playing for that contract. He'll run out of the pocket. He'll take the hits. George Pickens will break free.
He's literally done nothing for 2 months. How's he going to do that now?
Because it's playoffs now. He's a riser for playoffs.
You guys believe way too much in Cinderella stories.
I still
Maybe
think
I'm too much as X's and O's, and you guys are Cinderella stories. I don't know what this is.
I was with you. My head's telling me Ravens comfortably, but something in my gut, deep down in the pit of delusion and distraught that is my stomach.
30-10 will be the score.
10.
If we're up 20 at halftime, they might need to get a bulldozer to pull me out of this 40 game because I'll be tearing the place apart.
Scott,
And I will not be encouraging you either. Definitely not. I'm not that sort of guy. I don't encourage fucking mayhem.
Cap.
That's cap.
All right, next game, Super Sub Scotty, get us on the next game. We have got, it's me again. We have got Broncos at the Raging Bills. I was a bit concerned with the injury report. I will say, I went and checked the injury report. I thought Amari Cooper wouldn't be playing. He's actually been a full participant in every practice this week. So they seem to have all their players back, which they haven't had in the past. And I'll give some key matchups. As we know, and I think me and Scotty called MVP for Josh Allen in the preseason and basically said that he's going to have to be Superman this season for them to be a really good team due to the players they lost in the offseason. He has done that, and that's why he's my key matchup. Broncos defense is good. Allen has answered every call this season when needed. A game-winning touchdown against the Chiefs, which is their only real loss of the season for the Chiefs. Consistently got the job done when the Bills needed it the most on a relatively middle-of-the-park talented offense. This will need to continue to happen against a good Broncos defense. Allen has let this team down in the playoffs in the past. And is this the year he shakes it? I think it is, and I think we'll find out Sunday that it 100% is. I think Josh Allen's going to go full fuck you mode on these Broncos.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree, but you just got to understand that a Sean Payton team is going to come ready.
Yes.
They're going to come ready to play, especially that defense. That defense is going to come ready.
Yeah.
They're going to be ready for Josh.
Yeah, I think but everyone's been ready for Josh this year. And so far, he's shut everyone up.
Again, Scotty said it right.
Yeah.
So, I actually agree with what Scott said. Playoffs, everything goes up a notch.
Yes, and I think he will. I think he's that sort of guy. He's also lost games to the Chiefs 42-38, where they won the coin toss. So that's sort of like There's games that they've lost where he has had no say in how it's been lost. He's been nothing but perfect. Here's my key matchup for the Broncos. It's their run game versus the Bills front. It's no secret the Bills have been hurt by a below-average run defense this year. They're 21st in the league in rush yards per game. The games they've struggled in is when teams have really been able to get the ball running on them, keep the Bills on the sideline, not allow Allen to get in rhythm and start scoring and building a lead, and making him play from behind. Now, he's still been able to win some of those games when he's had to play from behind because he's that good, but that's the recipe. The Broncos with a great defense, if they can run the ball really well, set up the game, let Bo Nix not have to carry the game. He can throw his 5-yard screens and all that sort of stuff because they're running the ball well. And then they can generate some points and put some scoreboard pressure on Josh Allen, because what they need to do is they need to make Josh Allen go, shit, I'm going to have to carry this team again. The biggest fear is that the Bills get up 17-zip at halftime and then they're done because Josh Allen's like, oh, I've got it now. These guys are dead. If they can keep it close or even get a little lead, it puts instant pressure. When you're the favorite in a game, the pressure actually becomes it's on you. There is no pressure on the Broncos.
In the playoffs, yeah,
100%.
especially the home team as well. Yeah,
this season for the Broncos is already a massive success. They've, in theory, found their quarterback of the future. Definitely their quarterback they're going to roll with next year. No bars, doubts about it.
I think as long as Sean Payton is the coach there, Bo Nix will be the quarterback there.
100%. So they've found that their success, if they lose this game, they can walk away going, hey, let's load up in the offseason and let's come back next year.
Agreed.
Let's go. If the Bills lose this game, it's a fucking disaster because they should not be losing to a 9-8-7 seed. And really, they're an 8-9 team. Like the Chiefs mailed it in. If they had to play the proper Chiefs, they probably lose, and they're not even in the playoffs. But that's a completely different story. So that's my key for the Broncos. They have to run the ball well, which is something they haven't done well this year. But it is the Bills' Achilles heel. When you can run the ball on them, you can generate some points and then put a lot of pressure back on Josh Allen to force him to be practically perfect to win that game. Which is not what you want. It's not ideal when you're the 2 seed. That's what could happen.
No, definitely not. I 100% agree. That was my key thought was if Broncos get the running game going, they can win. They can win.
Who needs to have the biggest impact for each team? Bills, I've already said it, Josh Allen. He's had to be Superman all year. That has to continue. It has to continue for the next 3 games if they want to win a Super Bowl. Simple as that.
Agreed.
If he drops off in any way, they will lose. If he has one bad game, maybe even one bad half, they could be done. It could be 2.
It's a bad half against the Ravens. They lose that game.
100%. He's going to have to be. He's going to have to be absolutely outstanding for them to win the Super Bowl. So that's on him. And for the Broncos in the same line as the running game, it's not Williams. I'm going with. I'm actually going with McLaughlin. He's a big play running back, and as I said, they want to put scoreboard pressure on. McLaughlin's that guy that can break a couple of lines, score some long touchdowns, be explosive. And then you can, like I said, a bit of it's on Williams too, but the key guy, if they're going to win, if McLaughlin has, 3 20-yard rushes and maybe a 40-yard touchdown sort of run, that's going to make the defense be like, oh, we're in real trouble here. They're just generating big plays. Because I don't think they can do that with their passing game against the Bills defense. I think it's going to have to be on the ground because the Bills pass defense is pretty good. Von Miller rushing the passer, all that sort of stuff. The D tackle, his name, Oliver, the D tackle's having a monster season. Very unlucky to not be all pro. So there's that too. So I think that if they fall behind a little bit, they're in real trouble, the Broncos. And McLaughlin can be that guy that can generate some big plays and, and score some points, which can put some pressure on the Bills. So we had Lockie Kemp, keep the receipts. They got to make the Super Bowl though.
They're going to make it.
They got to make the Super Bowl. Hey, nothing will make me happier, big dog. Nothing will make me happier if they make the Super Bowl.
He's just responding to the chat. We've got a little bit of a chat bust up here.
I love it.
Scotty, is there beef in the chat?
There's beef in the chat.
Oh, hey, boys. Someone throw a knife in the middle and let him go.
Why is Lockie saying fuck? What are we saying fuck me for?
Wait, fuck you. She's a nice lady.
What are you saying fuck me for?
I offered flights for Lockie. He can come down next live show. We'll get the boxing gloves out.
No, well, Lockie's told us that if the Bills make the Super Bowl, he's coming down to Sporting Globe.
All right. Lockie, you're a nice guy. I don't want to hurt you. Stay there where you are, mate.
All right, I've got who wins and why. It's simple for me. The Bills. I believe they're much, much better in key areas, quarterback. And although Bo has had a nice rookie season, I believe it's been a bit of a mirage. And I think we'll find that on Sunday when you play against a good team like the Bills. He throws a lot short. I know his numbers have been solid. And I said I'm the first to admit that I was wrong about Bo Nix in the preseason. I thought he was going to be terrible. And he's not. He's quite a capable player that I think can develop into a franchise quarterback for the Broncos, which is me just it's like vinegar coming out of my mouth because I said he was going to be terrible, right? But that all said and done, playoff games are won predominantly by dominant quarterbacks. Josh Allen is potentially going to win an MVP. If he's not winning it, he's definitely second to Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
He's been outstanding all year. And I just think when push comes to shove, the wild card round's not where they're due to finish up. I think we get a Bills-Ravens game, which is going to be heartbreaking for one of those teams.
You'd have to say Bills at home.
Yeah, and at home too. It's a tough place. It's a tough place to play Buffalo.
Yeah.
It isn't an easy stadium.
Yep.
So, and there's no high altitude to help Denver. So
that's a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills all the way. Let's go Buffalo.
I like that. I like that call, Jay. I think it's a case of there's 2 rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs this year. There was a rookie quarterback last year that came into Dallas and kicked the shit out of arguably one of the best teams in the NFL last year in the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
I don't think there's going to be a rookie quarterback this year that can do it.
The Denver Broncos aren't Green Bay last year.
No.
Green Bay were very good.
Sean Payton is a very good coach.
Yep.
But when the pressure comes down to it, Bo Nix isn't going to be able to step up like Jordan Love did last year.
He's also a very good coach that had Drew Brees for 15 years and won one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He lost a lot of playoff games. Now, he was in a lot of playoff games. You got to be in a lot of them to lose a lot of them, which is something you got to give as a bit of a credit to.
True.
But he was also struggled to get it done on the big stage, and he had a lot more talented teams than this Bo Nix Denver Broncos team.
Yes, absolutely. I just don't think. I think it'll be a close game. I don't think Josh Allen will have a massive game. I think Denver will be close, but they're not going to be able to get it done when it really matters.
I agree. I think it'll be close. The Sean Payton coach team will keep it close. I think it'll be one score. It'll be one score.
I'm thinking 3 points either way.
Under a touchdown for sure.
I'm taking Buffalo 35-24. They'll run away with it late. They'll score a late touchdown just to it'll be a Josh Allen drive with kind of 3 minutes left, and he'll punch a touchdown in, whether it's James Cooks or whatever it is. He'll punch that touchdown in and then be like, all right, we're done. Get me off. Let me sit out the last two minutes of the game. Let the Broncos do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Scotty, who you got, big boy?
Just touching on the rookie quarterbacks, it is a huge jump. So congratulations for the Broncos getting this far. But Josh Allen's just going to be surgical. He will not lose this game, and he will do everything that he can. And I think the Bills' defense has been idling a little bit, and they're just going to come out and just fuck the Broncos.
Yeah,
so,
very fair.
Bills by 2 scores comfortably.
Beautiful. All right. Next game we have, I believe it's you, Georgie.
It is me.
Game.
It is,
you on the ones and twos.
It's my Philly Eagles.
Oh, here we go.
As the 2 seed
Strap
versus the Green Bay Packers as the 7 seed.
Don't hurt us.
I'm not going to hurt nobody, man.
You seem
I'm
upset.
a lover, not a fighter.
You seem very stressed about the Packers.
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
I'm not stressed at all. I'm cool as a cucumber, man.
That's fine. I'll let you go.
So obviously it's going to be an interesting matchup because, as we know, last year Packers were the 7 seed and they came into Dallas and beat the 2 seed. First time that's ever happened. So that was a big deal last year. We played them once before. I think it was the first game of the season, wasn't it? We played them, I'm pretty sure, in Brazil.
Yes,
it was. Yeah. That was an interesting matchup as well. I mean, it was in Brazil, so whatever. We came away with the points. Who cares? But
that was when Love got hurt.
He did.
And then missed the next 3 games.
Yes.
Or 2 games. Either way.
It was 2 games.
On that awful.
So
remember that awful field in Brazil?
It was some shitty
so
soccer
like,
field.
why the fuck? And they told them they couldn't wear colors because they might get stabbed by gang members.
No, that wasn't correct.
Was that not right?
No, it's not a gang thing. It's their rival team wears the colors. That color green.
That's right.
That's what it was.
Right.
And it's not a rubbish stadium. They built that for the Rio.
The field looked pretty rough.
World
Cup.
I
think the issue was that the sort of turf that they use is not made for football players who weigh 350 pounds. It's made for soccer players who weigh 150 pounds.
So yeah, sounds like a field out in Footscray that I've played on a couple of times.
Shout out.
Fuck those guys.
So
or Geelong.
Geelong's cool.
I got a few notes here. I got a few notes here that I want to read out, and then we can discuss. We can have a bit of a chat about the players.
Hit us with a big dog.
So Packers have lost 3 of their last 5 to finish the year. The only 2 teams that they beat were the Seahawks and the Saints, who both kind of suck. Contrarily, Philly have only lost 1 game. They've only lost 1 game.
Sorry, Scotty.
Fair.
Hey, Seahawks boy.
Contrarily, Philly have only lost 1 game since the end of September, and that was against a playoff-bound division rival with a Rookie of the Year QB and a potential Head Coach of the Year candidate in Dan Quinn.
And a drop catch, which would have ended it.
With a
miracle.
With the starting QB injured in the first quarter as well.
Very fair.
If not for the injury cloud surrounding Hurts and his concussion, this game would not be close. Eagles are clearly the better football team in every key area and position group. Most starters are coming in rested after sitting against the Giants in Week 18. Expect a strong showing from the O-line and Saquon as they run the ball early and often down Green Bay's throat. Also look for Hurts to quiet the haters and naysayers with another strong showing in the playoffs to cap off a fantastic back end of the season. I've got some stats I want to read to you guys.
Okay.
In his last 10 games, not including the game where he came out against Washington.
Last full 10 games.
Full 10 games that he's played.
Yep.
He's 10-0 in those games, and wins are a QB stat.
Yeah, very fair.
Cap. It's not. Wins are not a QB stat.
Okay,
It's an offensive stat, but it's not a QB stat.
Okay, let's agree to disagree.
When 60% of your offense is a running game, I would not call wins a QB stat.
Let's agree to disagree. It doesn't matter. The point is he's 10-0 as a starting quarterback in those games.
I think what you're saying is that when you talk about QBs, often the first thing that comes up is their win-loss.
100% it does.
That's what he means by it's a QB
That's,
stat.
that's exactly what I mean.
I know you hate it because then all the people get stuck into Lamar about his
not
record against some blow and Joe. I don't know.
Just look at it. Okay, then Lamar's the best quarterback against the NFC ever then.
Yes.
Yes, he is because of his record.
Because of his wins and losses.
But it's not.
Hence why it's a win-loss stat.
It's not true, though.
Can I keep going? Or
Yeah, sorry.
So he's 10-0 in those games, in his last 10 games, with a team points of 28.3.
Yep.
With a TD to turnover ratio of 26-3.
Yep.
And a passer rating of 115.5.
Yep.
That's his record in the last 10 games.
Well, I guess throwing the ball 15 times a game, it makes it easier to have a high rating.
I agree. We've still got to complete it and not turning it over. So, and he's passed for 26 touchdowns. So I'll take that.
The turnovers are huge because last season that's what derailed
That's what I was going to say. That's what derailed our season last year was the turnover. So we're holding onto the ball. We're controlling the line. We're controlling the clock. We control the game, and that's how we win. And that's okay. So let me continue. Defensively, Philly have been a standout group this season under first-year defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. Philly are first in total yards and yards per game, first in passing yards and yards per game, while only allowing opposing QBs a 62% completion percentage, which is top 5 in the NFL. A top 10 rushing defense, second in points allowed, and we are also a top 10 scoring defense. I see nothing but a convincing win for Philly, and my only concern is Hurts making it through to the divisional round unscathed. Not at all.
Sorry, what'd you say, Scotty?
Is Sirianni a concern?
Zero.
Only if they lose is a concern.
Yeah, but I'm predicting a comfortable Eagles win at home.
So you just think Green Bay are just not good at all?
I think their form over the last 6 to 8 weeks has been nothing impressive. I don't think
you said they were 3-5, yeah?
3-5. They've won 3 out of 3.
Yeah.
No,
they've lost 3
of their last 5. And the 2 wins were against the Seahawks and the Saints.
And then their 3 losses were 2 to the Vikings and 1 to the Lions.
Yeah, okay.
So you could argue that their only losses have been, and they were all close games, were to the
2 of the best teams.
2 of the best 3 teams, including Eagles are one of the best teams in the NFC.
Agreed.
2 of the best 3 teams in the NFC, right? The Vikings and Lions. Like if Green Bay are in almost any other division, they are a 13-win team because they don't have to play 4 games against the Lions and then a mail-in game against Chicago when Jordan Love got hurt and they didn't really play their guys.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, I agree with you in some ways. I'm not against. I think the Eagles are a much better team, but I think just saying Green Bay are not good is because
no, I didn't say they're not good. I just said we're better.
Yeah,
we're a better team.
Do you think you'll beat them comfortably? You were saying your only concern is Jalen Hurts basically not getting hurt.
Correct.
They're going to win, and the only thing that can happen is if Jalen Hurts.
I'll be very surprised if we lose by under 10 points.
See, I
we win by under 10 points.
I disagree. I think the Eagles are going to win, but I think this is going to be an absolute. Hurts is going to have to throw the ball in this game because the Packers are going to score points. I think that playoff Jordan Love, we've seen he is a good quarterback when he gets better in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Hurts, other than that 1 year, has struggled in the playoffs. He's had 3 seasons of playoffs. He had 1 year into the Super Bowl, which is fair enough, and would have won MVP if they won it. So he was really good.
Arguably should have won it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If he needs to play like that again, and I haven't seen Hurts play like that for 2 years. Their offense is basically, how can we not let Hurts fuck us? How can we not let him turn the ball over? I
don't agree with that.
Literally, that's the whole thing. They were throwing the ball too much earlier in the season and struggling on offense, and then they changed to, well, let's just run the crap out of the ball to Saquon.
Play to our strengths. We have an all-pro back, and We have a top 2, top 1 offensive line.
That's what James is.
Play to your strength.
That's what James is saying. If you guys go down a score and a half, 2 scores,
if Green Bay come out and start throwing and start scoring points, because your defense has been, yes, statistically, there's a lot of good parts about them, but they are very up and down. They have been torched before. Mm-hmm. They also haven't played, like, who have the Eagles played in those 10 games? How many good teams have they actually played? Because I don't think they've played, like, Washington's probably the only good team they've played. The Cowboys, who couldn't give a shit and are banged up with a Cooper Rush twice. I think they played the Titans and almost lost because there was a fight on the sideline. They almost lost to the Jaguars, and shaved head Sirianni's abusing people in the crowd after a win.
that was 4 months ago, bro. Come on.
I've just named 5 of the 10 games.
It's time to move on. It was 4 months ago.
But I'm just saying, I've named 5 of the 10 games against dog shit teams. That's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not saying the Eagles aren't the better team. I'm just saying that they're gonna roll in, kick the shit out of it. This is playoff football. Green Bay have played in the playoffs for a long time.
We're 5-1 in our division.
Yeah. Against who?
Okay. Chill. Can I talk?
Yeah.
Let me talk, bro. 5-1 in our division.
Yeah.
And we've also, as a little extra added bonus, we've also swept the AFC North this year, which was lauded at the start of the year, was lauded as one of the better divisions in football. We've swept the division. We've beaten good teams. Come on.
So other than the Ravens, right? You had a great win against the Ravens, which made me believe you guys are a very good team.
We beat the Ravens.
Steelers are no good.
They're still a playoff team. We've beaten them.
You just said they were no good.
Yeah,
so they're not a good team. The Bengals you got early in the season when they were absolutely fucking reeling and couldn't win a game to save themselves.
True.
And the Browns everyone in the NFC East beat the Browns, including the Giants.
That's true. Actually.
So, that's what I'm saying. I'm not, don't tell me your stats aren't bullshit. They're very good, and trust me. I'm just saying, and I think the Eagles will win. I equivocally think the Eagles are a better football team and they're going to beat the Packers. But I think it is going to take Jalen Hurts to actually play quarterback. And that's what scares me. And that's what should scare all Eagles fans, is that we have a quarterback that, if forced to actually have to play quarterback, is the biggest issue for our offense. Would you just agree the biggest issue for their offense is if they can shut down Saquon and you have to throw the ball to win, that would be the biggest threat to losing that football game.
Did you say Eagles have won their last 10 games?
No, he said that he played last 10 games he played in, not including the one he got hurt in. Which
against Commanders.
Against the Commanders. Which he got hurt in. So his last 10 full games.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that it terrifies me against an offense that has shown they can be explosive in the Packers against an offense of the Eagles that haven't really shown they're that explosive. They've shown they can grind a game out, they can run the ball well, and they have the best running back in football. But if for some reason they can't do anything with Saquon's a very unproven playoff player. He's been at the Giants the last 4 years or 5 years, which is, that's not his fault. It's just where he ended up. But
he's had a fantastic year.
Yeah, I agree.
O-line's had a fantastic year. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's rested. Everyone's ready to go. Saquon's had nearly 23 yards from scrimmage this year. He's going to have a fucking big game.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it's not going to shock me if the Eagles win this game by 30 points either. Like, it's not going to surprise me.
I'll be very surprised if we win by under 10 points.
But I think this game's going to be a lot tougher than what the Eagles think it is. And what you think it is, respectfully. I think the Eagles are going to have a much tougher matchup against a well-coached, good football team in the Green Bay Packers. Who are battle-hardened, playing against good teams in their division. That makes a difference. The Eagles have been banging up on Jimmys and Joes and the Cowboys and the Giants and Washington, and now they're getting a well-rounded, well-coached, physical, tough football team with Brandon Jacobs, who can run the shit out of the football, rolling Josh Jacobs. Sorry, I always say Brandon Jacobs.
I don't know why you do.
Got him on mic. He's one of the greatest running backs ever, Brandon Jacobs. 6'7", man. He was awesome. That's what I mean. That's all I'm saying. Trust me, Eagles win. But it's going to be tough.
I think they win and they win comfortably.
And it's not going to surprise me if they lose either. I won't be sitting there going, oh my God, I'm so shocked by this.
I think if the Eagles lose, that's a disaster.
Oh, it's Sirianni, bye-bye.
We can't be getting bounced in the first round after a 14-win season. We just can't be.
No,
that's Nick Sirianni, pack up your desk, see you later on Monday.
So this is the counterpoint to your stats about Philly. Green Bay are 5th for yards per game with 370. Philly are 367, so they're just above Philly.
Sure.
Points per game, where is it? Green Bay are 27.1 and Philly are 27.2 points a game. Rushing, you got the edge on rushing.
Sure.
Like, the points are minuscule in difference.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be as easy as you think it's going to be.
I think I put it this way. If Green Bay were in the NFC East And if you swap Green Bay and the Eagles, they're probably the same teams. We're talking Packers are 14-2 and the Eagles are 11 because they've just lost the Lions and the Vikings, unfortunately, because they're in a tough division.
Sure.
I think it's a very even matchup. Trust me, I'm still taking the Eagles. Eagles at home, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be one of the best games.
I'll be very surprised if we don't win by like I said, 10 points.
Yeah,
I'll be very
cool.
surprised.
Yeah, Brocky, who are you taking?
Green Bay by 8.
Green Bay. I'm taking Eagles. I'm taking Eagles.
Jordan Love's a killer. He's an absolute killer.
He's such an asshole in the playoffs. Trust me.
He's stone cold.
I still can't sleep at night.
I think he's going to struggle. I think we'll get pressure on him. I still think his elbow's not right.
That could be a factor too.
I think they're just going to jab it up and he's going to play. I don't think he's right.
I still have secondhand embarrassment of the Dallas Cowboys from last year. Like I still feel that every morning I wake up with my knocky knees. It's like, oh god, my knees are sore. Oh yeah, remember when the fucking Packers beat the Cowboys?
Beat the two
every morning. Scotty, who you got, big guy?
No one's mentioned LaFleur versus Fangio. I think the Packers offense will absolutely tear apart the Philly defense. It's not really stopped anyone, like you said. I think Packers going to win by potentially 2 scores here.
Right. There we go. So we're split in the studio.
Can you just bring up Kempy's last comment there, Scotty?
Kempy will fight George, but he wants a thumb war, and I've suggested it has to be a best out of 3. So we will make this happen. We'll film it. It's content for the vault.
He's got good thumbs.
Kempy's got big
good
hands.
thumbs on him.
He's got
big
some
hands.
paws.
Can snap a ball. I don't know if your hands are that big.
He's got big hands.
They're not small. Don't get me wrong. Like my hands are like tiny. I could never play piano, but you know, Kempy's got some hands. Yeah, you need those long, silky fingers to play the piano.
Shout out to Kempy. He made me laugh. That was funny. Thumb war was funny.
Kempy's a legend. Shout out to Kempy.
To be a pianist.
To be a pianist, I believe it's called. All right, next game. Who do we have? I think we're back to Brocky, and I want to say it's Commanders at the Buccaneers. Take it away, B Dizzle.
Okay, so they played the first game of the year this year.
Yep.
Bucks just got the win on that against it. Commanders, I love Daniels, rookie quarterback. It's going to be another tough step for him. I think Baker Mayfield has to have a big game, not lose the turnover battle. If Daniels throws at least one pick, the Bucks win. It's simple. You can't give the Bucks the ball. They're explosive. Baker Mayfield is going to throw the ball for 400. He's going to throw it everywhere. Evans is going to have a massive game to somewhat shut up the haters thinking he didn't deserve to get the record last week.
Which is absurd.
With a shit 5-yard slant. He's going to fucking tear it up.
Agreed.
Evans have a big game. For the Commanders to win this, they simply just need to hold on to the ball. Don't let Baker have it.
Yeah.
Don't let Baker have it. Get their run game going. It hasn't been going too well this year, but get a run game going. Get the clock draining down. Commanders have to see this game as they're playing Patrick Mahomes right now. Don't let him have the ball because that's what Baker Mayfield can be.
In big games.
Games, he can sling a ball. He's not scared of the pressure. He's got nothing left to play for, Baker Mayfield, anymore. He's got his last contract. He'll probably get his last big contract. He won't get another big one at the end of his career. This is all he has. He's all in on the Bucks.
He almost has nothing to lose.
He has nothing to lose.
He's already been so far at the I think playing D tackle in the Carolina Panthers practice squad is rock bottom for a first number 1 overall pick. He's hit rock bottom. He's got nothing to lose.
What's below that?
Being cut, I guess.
Being dead.
Or
or
being Deshaun Watson.
It's playing for the St. Louis Battlehawks. That's what's under this.
Yeah.
True.
Or the San Antonio Brahma.
Yeah.
Hey, don't knock the Brahms.
Horns forward.
Is that what we do? Horns for life.
Horns forward.
That's right. There's levels to this shit. You're right.
USFXL, whatever it is.
I really do think Baker's going to have a big game. He's going to blow him out.
He's a great quarterback. Baker's going to
like I said, he has nothing left to play for. He has nothing to lose. Bucks actually just gave him a lifeline and he took it and ran with it.
Yeah.
He's going to give everything he has for this team. You know that. He'll come off with a torn rotator cuff.
Proven performer in the playoffs too. He had a great game last year against Philly and knocked us out.
And we're just sleeping on the fact that the Commanders are just not an overly talented football team.
Yep.
Like they've had a great year beating up on shit teams from their 4th seed in the division. Like they've played, they've won a couple of games that matter. They also lost to the Cowboys 3 weeks ago in a game that mattered, that could have helped them win the division, and then almost lost to them last week where they literally pulled Jaden Daniels out because Dan Quinn literally said, I didn't want him to get hurt. That's how much he was getting hit. I was like, I had to take him out against a 6-8 team. He was that desperate. He had to get him out of the game because he didn't want him to get hurt. I just don't think the Commanders are overly talented. I think they've got a bright future. I think Jaden Daniels is a really good young quarterback and can develop really nicely. But, in terms of are they better than the Buccaneers? The Buccaneers they're a polished up group, and Baker's been to the playoffs. He's played in big games in college. He's played in big games his whole career. He had to play for Cleveland for 2 years, so he understands what it's like to be in the shit. Nothing bothers him. Mike Evans is one of the best receivers of our generation. And they've also got Bucky Irving, who has been going.
Yeah, Irving's been really good this year.
Back, and a sneaky, really good offensive line. Like Tristan Wirfs, the left tackle, was first team All Pro after moving from right tackle to left tackle this season. Which people go, "Oh, what's the big deal?" It's huge. It's a huge difference.
No, it's a big deal.
It's a massive deal. And if he just moved and then just been like, "Oh, he's still a really good player at left tackle," I'd be like, fair enough. The fact that you go from an all-pro right tackle to an all-pro left tackle.
Malata should have been first team all-pro.
Yeah, and that's a fair argument too. It's always tough with O-linemen because there's only one and there's probably 3 or 4 guys that deserve it, and it's always hard. But he's definitely in the conversation.
Oh, he's definitely in the conversation.
If Malata had got it, there'd be 50% of the bar would be saying, "Oh, it should have been Tristan Wirfs," and 50% would be saying, "No, it was Malata."
And that one Chargers fan saying, "What about Rashawn Slater?"
Yeah, what about Rashawn? He was so good. What a dog. That's what I mean. But no, Bucks all the way. I think this game, this would probably be the most shocked I'd be shocked if a wildcard team wins. This game would shock me the most if the Commanders won. I just don't think they're that good.
The Bills losing to the Broncos would be worse than this.
Oh, no, I'm saying that I just think that's more possible than the than the Commanders beating the Bucks. I just don't think the Commanders are very good at all. And the Broncos are better than the Commanders.
Baker has this thing in him that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. It's dog.
You got a dog
in him. He is an absolute dog. He will not lose this game. Commanders,
Bucks are winning. Bucks are winning.
For them to really just dominate this game, get Jordan Daniels actually just running and see if you can actually beat him with your legs.
What's the line in this game?
Also at home,
please, Scott.
Also at home, there's a bit of a weather difference between Tampa Bay and Washington.
At the moment,
Washington's pretty chilly billy out there, I believe.
It's been blizzards.
Sorry, did I just bring that into the group chat? It's pretty chilly billy out there. So Tampa's whole.
It's been blizzards in the DMV like this past 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
They had 4 school snow days in a row in Baltimore.
I was about to say they had 4 school shootings, and I wouldn't have been surprised.
That's just the
4 school shootings in a row. Color me shocked. Paint me shocked.
They set the George, take it away.
All right, quickly, who's got it? So you got Bucks. You got Bucks. I've got Bucks. Producer Scotty, who you got, big boy?
Just getting the handicap here. It's Tampa Bay 2.5 points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nice.
So it's a bit closer.
Well, I think Commanders had more wins than them, didn't they?
Yeah, they would have.
Because they got to play more tin cans.
Yeah, the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think Bucks pretty comfortably here. They're just a more polished team, playoff tested, so pretty straightforward here.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, the last game we have the big dog, the big spanakopita. We've got Rams versus.
With the 5 seed Vikings, a 14-win team as the 5 seed is fucking diabolical for starters. Anyway,
outrageous. Are they 14 or 13? No, 14
and 3.
Yeah.
And against the 4 seed Rams, who were 10 and 7. So a couple of notes I've got here. After a brilliant high-scoring affair at SoFi Stadium against the Bills, the Rams' last month of football hasn't set the world on fire, unlike the Hollywood Hills near where the stadium is.
It's not even near the stadium. It's just the session.
Well, as a result of those fires, the game has now been moved from SoFi Stadium to State Farm Stadium. I'll let you work out the irony on your own. What the name of that stadium?
Love you, State Farm. Sponsor us, please. With all that money you're saving,
we'll do the double check.
Yeah, with all that money you're saving from ruining people's fucking lives, how about you sponsor us?
They got to pay Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, true. And that jacked up guy that does the ads with him. What's his name?
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid jacked up.
He's jacked up in his own way. Apparently, he's young.
Bundle.
The Rams have limped in as the 4 seed by winning their shitty division, and I'll be absolutely shocked if they aren't efficiently dispatched by the Vikings out in the desert. Vikings are coming off a huge game against division rivals and eventual number 1 seed Lions, in which Darnold had his worst performance in Vikings colours to date. Look for another potential head coach of the year candidate in Kevin O'Connell to steady the ship and scheme up a number of plays for Darnold to utilise his 2 stud receivers in Jetters and Addison. For the Rams, the blueprint was laid out last week by the Lions on how to beat the Vikings, and that is pressure. Rams have a formidable pass rush led by Fisk, Young, and rookie sensation Jared Verse.
Yep.
This will be the key to victory for the Rams. If Darnold is pressured, he could easily have another deer in the headlights game like last week. However, if given time in the pocket with Jetters and Addison on the outside, I can easily see him carving up the Rams secondary, who are 20th in the league against the pass.
Yep. They're an average defense that's led by a good pass rush.
Yep.
Good young pass rush, a bright future for them defensively. But I think the Vikings and whoever lost that game last week, the Vikings and the Lions, I felt sorry whoever was going to get them in the playoffs because the Vikings are going to be pretty pissed off because like we said on the podcast this week that they did like something teams had never done before with red zone inadequacies, turnovers, all that sort of stuff. It was like something no one's ever done. And that game looked like they got, if you just look at that score, you'd be like, oh, they got blown out. They didn't get blown out. It was actually a really close game until the third quarter. Yeah. And then their inadequacies to score early came to bite them in the ass.
Yes.
I don't think Kevin O'Connell's going to allow that to happen again.
Agreed.
I don't think Darnold will have enough. From what we've seen in 18 games this year, he's really had one or two bad games. That was a bad game.
He's had one bad game last week and maybe 2 or 3 like average games.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you'd also get the Vikings are one of the most well-rounded teams in football. Brian Flores' defense is extremely well drilled, generate turnovers, generate pressure.
Yep.
And then they can also run the ball with Aaron Jones. They've got a decent offensive line. Like I just think the Vikings and I think the Rams fucked up last week by not trying to beat the Steelers and letting themselves fall to the 4 seed.
That was weird.
I just don't think I'll be surprised. Like I'd be shocked if the Rams win this game. I just can't see it on paper.
The only advantage that they had was that it was going to be at SoFi, and now that it's not,
they don't even have home field advantage.
Yeah, now that it's not, they're cooked. They're dead in the water.
I tend to agree. I just think the Vikings are a much better football team at this stage,
and they're coming in. They're coming into Arizona with a fucking chip on their shoulder. Like, hey, like we're a good team. We've won 14 games this year. Like that game against the Lions was an outlier. We're a fucking good team, and we're going to prove it to you.
And also the last time we saw Stafford, he was atrocious against the Arizona Cardinals. And with all rights, they should have lost that football game. Like all Kyler Murray, all McBride had to do was turn around and catch that ball and that game's over.
the doink off the helmet.
Yeah. And then Stafford's playing last week and then who knows, maybe we're talking about Seattle instead of the Rams.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yep.
So I think this whole thing of, what's Stafford's going to go off? Stafford's had one good playoff run in his entire career. Now, he was stuck at Detroit for a long time, which again isn't his problem.
Yeah, but he did win a Super Bowl.
He won a Super Bowl, but I would also argue that, we've said it before, that Super Bowl's not won if Aaron Donald doesn't do what he does.
Agreed.
Aaron Donald was the key to that team.
Yep.
So, and then Stafford was a great trade. It worked out perfectly for him, but from what I've seen of Stafford the last month, he hasn't been that good.
I think the Lions won that trade.
Super Bowl's hard to trump. But you know what? Come the end of this season, the
Lions window's well and truly open though. They've got at least another 4 or 5 years of this.
Yeah, and they also drafted Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and got Jared Goff
and Jameer Gibbs
for those picks. So it worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
I said it's very hard. If the Lions go and win a Super Bowl this year, then yeah, I'd definitely, or next year, I'd definitely agree with you that they've won that trade. But also, Rams had one thing in mind. It was we get Stafford, we win a Super Bowl. We've got a great team. We've got everything set up. All we need is the quarterback. We don't have faith in Jared Goff. Bang, let's get in Stafford, and they won it. So,
and they did, to be fair. So like,
I think it
well
works
played,
out.
I guess.
It was probably one of the most even trades of all time.
Is it possible that both teams can win a trade?
Yeah, I think it's one of the most even trades of all time.
Split.
Everyone got exactly what they wanted out of that trade. Yep. Rams got their Super Bowl. Lions got their players they needed to build this great team, which I think is going to turn into a dynasty. And they got Jared Goff into a position where he can succeed. And we all thought Jared Goff was a throwaway. It was like, you can have Goff too.
We were laughing like, this is where his career's gone there to die.
He'll play 1 year. They'll draft a quarterback. Bang, they'll go to a rookie. Yep. But no, he saved his career, and credit to him too. But give me Vikings all the way, all the way home. Like, could even be 3 scores. That's how much better.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I'm somewhat against you.
Yeah.
I think the Rams are going to be able to have a big game this week. A lot of their players would be caught up in this fire shit as well. A lot of they would be living out in that area, the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah, no doubt.
That sort of area. I think they're going to somewhat rally together and actually just go put that aside.
Hurricane Katrina sort of
operation.
Let's
just play fucking football, boys. Whatever's back there is back there. We can't control that. Let's just focus on what we can do each fucking play and just come out. And I reckon McVay's that kind of coach who will get his team up from this situation and actually rally themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if they win by a touchdown, but it's more likely going to be a field goal Rams way to win this game.
Well, you got Rams.
I got Rams to win.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I think Sam Darnold, they sort of showed
Rams to win.
I think they've showed Sam Darnold isn't that really that good of a quarterback if his receivers aren't getting open. If he's getting pressure, if he has to get the ball out in a second second and a half.
If the Rams think they're going to blitz like the Lions did last week and get away with it again, I think Kevin O'Connell will
what do you have to
fucking
lose?
torch him.
What do you
No,
have to
I think they should try. If I was them, I'd be like, well, we just saw what the Lions did. Let's
That's
try
what
that.
I said. Yeah, the blueprint's
But
there.
I also don't think Kevin O'Connell, when he sees blitzes, is going to be like, we got a plan for this.
Yeah.
Because there were guys open everywhere last week against the Lions.
They
I've
was.
seen film on it.
But
And
then-
Darnold had a bad game.
But then it comes back to the quarterback
Yeah.
not being good enough for the situation.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that I don't think Kevin Connell was expecting blitzes.
Yeah.
No one's blitzed them all year.
Well, he said after the game he wasn't ready for
he
it.
was like, he literally said, I was shocked that should get Aaron Glenn a head coaching job because I
Yeah.
did not expect him to do
Mm.
that
But
and
that's
I
what-
didn't have an answer
Mm.
for it.
But that's what I mean. I don't think Sam Darnold's good enough to be able to see it happening
Okay.
and change things and
Right.
actually look in the
So
right
it's not a
direction.
coach. You say it's not a coaching thing. You say it's a player thing.
Coaching
Yeah,
can
okay.
tell him all he wants, all he needs.
And that's fair based off the evidence we've seen.
But Sam Darnold, you got to remember, he bounced around for a reason. He got thrown out of Jets for a reason. He got thrown out of Carolina for a reason.
Seeing ghosts.
Maybe he's just not that good of a quarterback, and you put him in a perfect situation, and he's a good regular season quarterback, and he can beat up on these teams.
So he's saying he's more like a white Lamar.
Wow.
Saying he's more of a white Dak Prescott. If anything.
Oh yeah, well Dak Prescott is white, so
Yeah.
he's just Dak Prescott.
He's a whiter.
Is that racist?
Whiter.
Yeah.
No, he's a bit white.
Like Dak Prescott puts a little bit like Cajun seasoning on his like chips.
Sam
Sam
Darnold's
Darnold
one-
just salt
no,
and pepper.
No, he doesn't even like pepper. He's like,
Nah.
got it.
Too hot.
It's just salt. Just salt.
Straight salt.
Maybe chicken salt. That's how white I am.
Nah, too spicy for him. He's that white. It's too spicy.
All right,
It's
so
an MSG.
So you've got Rams, we've got Vikings. Scotty with the pipes. Who you got?
I'll take offense to the pepper talk just quietly.
Hates pepper. Can't handle pepper.
Um,
White
He's
is I've ever
very,
met.
he's very white.
No, I'm with Brock here. I think this is the upset game. The Lions 2.5 points Minnesota's way. I think McVay is just sensational in these sort of situations to do something that Flores hasn't prepared for.
Yeah.
And the Rams D line, the Vikings O line has been pretty bad with pressure up the middle, and that's something the Rams can do easily, which means that they can drop more guys back in coverage and get that pressure up front. I think this could be a Rams win here. So I'm going Rams.
Split in the podcast. I like that. Very good. All right, we've got one last question before we get out of here. It was a great suggestion from you, George. Well, I'll give you your flowers.
Shout out.
Who's got the most to lose from this playoff?
Who's got the
game?
most to win and who's got the most to lose?
Who you got?
The most to lose
Yep.
is Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same.
He's got 100% the most to lose.
You can't if you lose to the Steelers.
Because
I
if
don't
you-
even want it to happen because I don't want to have to deal with the people
Me.
talking about it. No, I'll just hold you like a baby and you can just cry on my shoulder.
Please.
Like I can't deal
just-
with the media.
you hold him and I'll just caress those feathers.
Yeah.
Look at those feathers, man. They
beautiful
are
hair.
elite.
He's got hair that a couple of guys in this room would kill.
Yeah,
for. I'm not going to tell you who, but
No, me. I am that person.
all right, I'm the other one.
It's on my barber's floor if you want to go pick it up and like
I'll
glue it
just
off.
put it on. Just try and glue it on.
Don't-
I go, look, I'm pretty, like, bro.
Don't tempt me with a good time. I'm with you. Lamar has the most. You have to agree here, bro. Yeah.
He's got
He
the
has
most to
so
lose
much
by a
hair.
mile.
I also think he's got the
Potential-
most to gain. If he goes and annihilates
No. The
Steelers,
most to
shut
gain, because he's like, just on the Lamar thing quickly, like potential MVP season, first team All Pro,
and
second
the MVP's
seed,
voted for, so they can't change it. It's
second
done.
seed, and then to lose at home to a division rival,
3 seed.
three seed,
Yeah.
sorry, to lose at home to a division rival in the first week of the playoffs would be fucking diabolical.
Especially after the run he's gone on to get him
Yeah,
to this
that's what I'm
point.
saying.
Like
The
he shut
fallout-
up everyone
The
to get him to this
fallout would
point.
be, and then
Oh.
to lose that and then be voted MVP afterwards would just be like fucking diabolical.
I wouldn't give the speech if I was Lamar. I'd be like, no, I don't want to get up there and talk.
So
That's all good.
for mine, the person with the most to gain
Yep.
is Sam Darnold,
I
purely from a money point of view.
yeah,
because
that's-
that game last week, if he lays another egg this week,
It could have cost him at least 10 mil. easily.
10 mil, that
It
an egg last week and an egg this week is going to cost him $100 million over 5 years.
That's the thing. Last week puts him down from a 60 to a 50
Yeah.
million quarterback.
Yeah.
This will put him to a 45.
Yeah.
if he loses this, it'll be, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't give him the keys. Maybe he's not that good. And I
Yeah.
think it'd be horrible for the Vikings to lose, but shit, it'd be great news for the Vikings to sign him up next year and go again
Yeah.
because you'll tag him easily or just sign him.
Personally, I think he gets tagged anyway,
Yeah, I think so too.
but he's got a lot to. If he lays another egg, he's cost himself $100 million.
But you're right. If he wins and wins emphatically, no one's doubting him now.
The checkbook's flying out,
Yeah.
and it'll be the Vikings first, and then there'll be another half a dozen teams lined up behind them.
I have a different most to win. Most to win from the playoffs. Bo Nix.
Yeah, nice. Yep.
As someone who heavily criticized him, and still, I said I'm a very self-aware guy. I'm still criticizing him a little bit. I think he's a bit of a mirage. If he comes out and beats the 2-seed Buffalo Bills and outduels Josh Allen and plays well, hey, sign me up. I'm in. I'm a bow guy.
What if he doesn't win, but he just has like a cracker game and they lose 35-42 or something like that?
Depends on how he does it.
Like
if he does it actually throwing the football,
slinging the ball around, has a great game.
Yeah, potentially.
But just like gets outclassed by a better team.
Exactly, that's a fair point. He doesn't actually have to win
because really this season's already
much.
A win if you think about it.
But if he wins, holy shit, we're having a different conversation next year. Because then they roll into Kansas City, who they lost to by a blocked field goal earlier in the year.
True.
And then I know they pumped the crap out of their backups, but that's still a win. Like you've still got like we pumped their start
division team.
Yeah, we pumped their backups. How much does 6 starters really mean a difference? Like, it does when it's Travis Kelce, Chris Jones.
Yeah, but I get your point. They're going in there with their tails up, and that's confidence is a big thing, man.
He has so much to gain from this week. He could shut up everyone.
At elite level sport, a lot of it is between the ears too.
100%. And no one, if they able to beat the Bills, no one's doubting him or Sean Payton for the next couple of years. He's just written his script for the next 3. Like, he's the guy.
Agreed.
Shut up. He's the man.
I think it's already a win anyway for him this year.
I think he's got so much to win from it. Brocky, most to win?
I'm just flipping off Scotty. Most to win, is this for this week of playoffs?
Yeah, just this week.
Yeah, it's probably either Bo Nix. It's Bo Nix or Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, the rookie quarterbacks, yeah.
If a rookie quarterback wins this
That's
week,
actually a really good point, Brock. The 2 rookie quarterbacks have got the most.
Jaden Daniels goes into Tampa and wins a game. I know Tampa only finished, what did they finish? 10-7 in the end?
10-7, yeah.
That's still a big win for them.
Doesn't matter. They're still a playoff team. They won a playoff game last year, the Bucks. They're a button-up team.
They were the second worst team in the league last year.
No, the year before.
No, Washington, I'm talking
about. Washington. Sorry.
They were dreadful.
The turnaround of one quarterback, it puts in the mindset of all these free agent players coming out, your T. Higgins sort of vibes going.
Tyreek, he can bash women in Washington too. He can do it anywhere, he said.
True.
Yeah, he can play ball wherever he wants to, and off the field.
So defense travels, running game travels, and bashing women travels.
Everywhere.
Love it.
Always.
Love it. Write that down, Scotty.
America. Now, it puts into the heads of all these like free agent wide receivers going, why would I go play for a team when I can go get money and go play with a young quarterback, exciting.
With the rookie of the year quarterback. Yep.
Get on that sort of vibe
I love
of
it.
what Caleb Williams sort of brought to Chicago of this is going to be exciting. We're going to be a good team. We have the key. We just need to put it all together. So I think it's Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, cool. Scotty, have you got a biggest winner or biggest loser?
I like that, Brock.
I got a winner and a loser here. So biggest winner, I think, is Stroud because he's in the bus talk at the moment.
That's fair. Very fair.
The B word is definitely circulating around him at the moment.
He needs to show out to save face a little bit. And
I can't do it without you. Can't do it without all the help around you. You had all the help last year, and now you can't do it.
Yeah.
I think the biggest losers are Sirianni because the fans will tear the walls apart if they lose as a 2 seed with 14 wins.
Yeah, very fair.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, I think he'd be fired. Do we all agree?
No. He will be fired.
Yeah, he will be 100% fired. And I think that
he will be fired.
They wouldn't let him in the locker room after if they lose.
Like, dude, leave the stadium before someone kills you.
Whether it's his fault or not, he will be scapegoat. He'll be fucking hung from the lamppost.
The sword's been waiting above his head for him to be the scapegoat the entire season. We've just kept winning, bro.
Don't take your kids to the press conference. They will not be safe.
No, not in Philly.
It's sort of a vibe of if they lose, somehow one of those embers from California is going to make it all the way to Philly and land in the league and just burn the place down.
Yeah.
Scotty, that is absolutely spot on. If the Eagles lose Sirianni, I don't think he'll get a press conference.
No, he won't. It'll be like
and Hurts too. I think that's very fair.
Howie will just come up to the mic and go, like Sirianni's been let go. I'm taking questions.
It's done, guys. Yeah. You want to talk to Vic? No, he gave up 40 points, you dickheads. We're all good.
No, I don't
I don't think so either. But yeah, that's a very good who to lose. All right. That is it for us this week. Red Cup betting will be on tomorrow night. Guys, we'll be doing this every Saturday for the playoffs.
Yes.
Doing a live show. Everyone who's commented and joined in.
How many views we got? We got 6 concurrents?
No, that's not even real. Don't even look at that.
That's not real?
No, it doesn't.
So we got more than that concurrent viewers.
Yeah, StreamYard doesn't actually accumulate the views. Don't worry about it. But yeah, shout out to Scotty coming in and doing some producing for us for the live shows. Apologies for the technical difficulties at the start. We've never had I'm going to go buy a new cord next week because I'm not having that happen again. We've never had one issue with a cord.
We'll talk about coaches that got fired on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, we'll put that up. Yep.
We'll talk about all the black politics that's happening at the moment with
Rooney.
Bit of that. It seems to circulate every year, doesn't it?
A couple black coaches get fired after 1 year. They still get that draft pick for that first year, though. So That's a little conspiracy. That's a
There's some
little tinfoil hat. I got there.
Have we all got our own tinfoil hats now?
Yeah, actually, you know what? Tuesday night we're gonna do a segment, tinfoil hats.
I
You
love
can
it.
do that one. I've got my one.
I
Do you
love
know
it.
Mike McDaniel was classified as a black coach?
Yeah, because he's Jewish. It's minority.
Oh, it's a
It's
minority
coach.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not just black.
I saw black.
God, Brock, you're
I
so
saw,
racist.
who was the guy that was fucking Joy Taylor? The black guy.
Manuel Archer.
All of
That's
them.
the one.
Macho.
All of them. Yes.
Which one? Oh, only the black one.
Except Jason Whitlock.
Hold on. Do you want? Yeah, I can tell you one very bad. Jason Whitlock removed himself from that situation because he couldn't trust himself with what he did with Joyce
Also,
Taylor.
also, he hasn't seen his dick in 10 years because he's so fat.
She wanted $4.5 million and he wasn't paying it.
I heard he had like number 4 in like the deli counter, like ticket order.
And she didn't need it.
She's trying to be ruined after
She,
3.
she tapped out after 3.
Also, my favorite Jason Whitlock moment in the history of humans was when he put up his Google, like all these ads were coming up for gay porn and shit. And he's like, what the fuck, Google? Why are you sending me all this gay porn shit? And people like, never heard of an algorithm, have you, Jason?
Yeah, obviously
And
not.
just got torched for it. So you're right. You probably weren't that interested in Joy Taylor, Jason. Or you swing both ways, and that's cool. It's 2025.
Hey,
Aaron Hernandez, well.
Peace
hey,
out.
it's 2025, man.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Shout out to Sporting Globe Churnside Park. Get your Super Bowl tickets. Get around it. Get around the Patreon. All those things. Peace out, everybody.
Yo, welcome to the show. Gather round, listen close. We got George, Brock, and Jade, bringing you the most NFL podcast. It's about to go down. 3 amigos ready to run this town. Welcome to the Ball Studio, where the fun begins. George, Brock, and Jade talking NFL with their friends. So grab a drink, sit back, let's dive into the show. The Ball Studio, fam, we're ready to go. Let's go.